bananas. Oh, with the jokes today. All right. Steel's loud. Welcome back to the enemy. I can't do it. I cannot do Russian. Today, guys, we are reviewing the Resilient Suppressors Putnik suppressor. So, in case you've been living under a rock, this is the new bee's knees. Everybody's talking about it for your AK47 variants. So today, we are gonna dive deep into the suppressor here in the studio. We're gonna try to make things quick, and then we're gonna hit the range and see exactly what it sounds like. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, the Putnik comes in a overall length with the supplied mount attached at 6.2 inches, has a really girthy diameter at 2.365 inches, overall weight without the mount of 20.9 ounces, and its materials are as follows. The tube and the front cap is constructed of titanium, and the mount area and the entire baffle stack is 17.4 heat-treated stainless steel. Your finish, of course, is going to be a matte black high-temperature Cerakote, and it has quite the list of calibers. Of course, elephant in the room, 7.62 by 39, 5.45 by 39, 5.56 by 45, 308 Winchester, 6.5 Creedmoor, 300 Blackout, all your usual suspects. There are some minimum barrel length restrictions. I'll go ahead and notate somewhere on the screen for you. And it is, of course, full auto rated, because what would this be without being full auto rated? The mount, which we'll cover here in a little bit more detail in a second, but just want to cover the thread pitch, is of course the 1.375 by 24 universal hub. So that's really great to see there. Warranty is lifetime, and it comes in at a retail price on the Resilient Suppressors website at $8.99. And then of course, Capital Armory has it at $7.99. And my Patreon Gold members get an additional 10% off of that. So pretty affordable little stubby can here. So now that we got the boring specs out of the way, and you guys have a little roundabout idea of the dimensions of this thing, let's cover its special features. So again, first thing you're going to notice is this is a throwback to a retro AK47 suppressor from yesteryear, of course, with modern improvements. One of the biggest improvements you could say, of course, besides, the material selection, is of course going to be the design of the internal baffle stack, and you can see the external porting here. One of the biggest takeaways is the triaxial design to alleviate port pop and bolt speed. So you're not going to overrun your bolt. You're going to have better comfort in your right ear while shooting. You're not going to beat up your gun. AKs typically don't like to be gassed up anyway, so that's really nice to hear. So in layman's terms, that gas is distributed to the outside of the primary baffle stack, and it allows extra pressure to be bled off in between the tube wall and, of course, back into the baffle stack, into the bore line. Speaking of the bore line, it is a progressive bore line. What does that mean? It means that the further away you get from the muzzle, the wider the bore aperture gets on the suppressor. Why is that? Well, AK-47s typically have a history of having crappy barrels. So their threads are typically not concentric to the bore, meaning if you have a really tight bore aperture to aid in, perfect precision and perfect suppression, it leaves no room for error. Okay, now you guys are used to shooting precision guns, I'm sure, AR-15 variants that typically don't suffer from these manufacturing fallbacks that the AK world does. So essentially, they're planning ahead. that you're going to screw this on to a comm block AK that is really not up to par when it comes to the thread machining quality. In short, the threads just suck. So this is planning ahead a little bit. I would still use an alignment rod if you have one. I personally don't have any. If you don't, you could probably use a cleaning rod or just safely eye it. Use a light and just kind of look and see what you can gander there and see if it's going to clear the baffle stacks. So Resilient Suppressors trying to help you out there the best they can. Just, you know, verify it before you shoot it. And they also thought ahead specifically because of what we just discussed and put all of the important information on the very rear of the suppressor, an area that will not be damaged should the front of this turn into a hand grenade. So all of this is good to go. If you have any issues, like what we just discussed, I'm sure you can send it back and they will warranty it for you. But you see here, Resilient Suppressors, Jacksonville, Florida. Putnik has the caliber designation, 7.62, and of course your serialized information. So that is what you need to keep safe for your ATF Form 4 paperwork. Everything else, replaceable. So we can't take it apart here in the studio. I will remove the supplied mount. It is a 24 by 1.5 millimeter mount. So those of you that are used to seeing the larger threads on your cranks and stuff, and I believe this AK guy, this Brandon Herrera variant here, this is a Frankenstein of a gun actually. There's not many of these in existence. He built a receiver and then Definitive Arms put a 300 blackout conversion kit on it. So that's a 300 blackout AK47. It's very weird. But that, I believe, just by looking at the Wolverine here, it does use this thread pitch. So we'll be shooting 300 blackout today. And I have another mount on the way to adapt it, of course, to these guys here. And these are my only 7.62 by 39 AK variants that I own because I'm not a huge AK fan. I'm just kidding. I know you guys really love your AK-47s out there. I've just never been a super big AK lover. Obviously, I have them in my collection because collection would not be complete without them. Actually, this one here is my favorite. Brandon Herrera made this for me when he was better known as the AK guy before he got uber famous. It was beautiful hair. And this is actually number 7 of 47. Beautiful showpiece here. So we will be shooting this bad boy with the aforementioned adapter when it comes in, because I'll be filming the ranged portions of this video a little later in the week. But really excited to shoot the Putnik on there. And of course, we got an underfolder here. Zastafa, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, because again, I'm not an AK nerd. That gun's, I think, like brand new. And then of course, the little Frankenstein freak here, the 300 blackout. So we're gonna give it a whirl here. I'm not gonna ramble much longer in the studio. I think you guys have a pretty good idea of what this is. There's not many videos out on it yet, but there will be. And hopefully you guys enjoy what you're about to see. Let's get to it. Before we get shooting, a quick word from our sponsor, Capital Armory. They're the nation's largest silencer dealer and have expanded their silencer shipping ability to multiple states, with even more on the way. They can still ship directly to Texas residents, but they can now deliver silencers directly to your door for those in many other states. The process is simple and keeps everything in-house. So there are no additional dealers, transfer fees, or headaches. They manage the entire process from start to finish to make your life easier. The process is very simple. Once you purchase a silencer online through their website, you'll be contacted to begin your online customer profile to provide them with fingerprints and other necessary information to complete your e-file Form 4. After the ATF approves your form, Capital Armory will initiate electronic transfer paperwork with you, and your silencer will be mailed directly to your front door. And the best part is, your customer profile only needs to be done once, so you'll be ready to go for all future orders. Head to capitalarmory.com today to learn more. She don't like the ammo. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that. So first things first, when we first got out here, we had some issues with the 300 Blackout AK here, and I forgot to bring extra ammo. That's my bad. So I did not bring extra ammo, and the mag that I had preloaded at home, it did not like the lot of ammo that I had. I have different brands of ammo at home for situations like this that arise, and I did not have it with me. That being said, you guys really aren't buying the suppressor to shoot it on some Frankenstein 300 Blackout AK. You want to hear it on a 7.62 by 39 AK, which is just fine and ran very well today. As far as gas to the face, it wasn't that bad. The porting here on the end cap does a very good job of mitigating any back pressure that this platform would exhibit, increased back pressure that is. You know, I was wearing some Oakleys here, and I really didn't feel a lot of the pressure jet past the frame and into my eye. So I could tell there was some gas, but it wasn't high pressure where it's just gonna like tear up your eyes while you're shooting. So back pressure good, suppression good. Of course, it is an AK. You're shooting a freaking howitzer fireball out the front, so it's gonna take everything and anything to suppress it. And I think, given the circumstances, it did very well. The tone was good, which is always important. The muzzle flash, I did review some footage from the downrange scenes, and I could see some jetting coming out, I believe the first couple rounds, and then with all the oxygen burned off inside the suppressor, it was doing a pretty good job of mitigating, considering there's a lot of chances here for jetting right out of the front, and I think it did pretty well. So again, AKs are not my forte, I will admit it, but you know what? I had some fun today, and I really needed it, to be honest. It really got my mind off some things. So yeah, I don't know, it's just something about the mechanics. I get it, of the AK. It is fun. It is fun to shoot, even unsuppressed. But suppressed, it really took off that concussive blast that really just hammers your face after a while and made shooting just that much more enjoyable. Didn't overrun the gun any, so that's a plus. So yeah, A+ there. Of course, like I always say, try to find a dealer in your area that carries the suppressor that you're looking to buy and see if you can line up a demo day with them. If not, there's shooting events all across the United States throughout the year. Of course, I invented Suppress Fest for that reason many, many years ago. So companies like Resilient Suppressors, they have been out there and they will be back. You can actually shoot these in person and really make an educated decision, not just base it off of video. Because you're gonna get tone out here, you're gonna get my feedback, you can see muzzle flash, stuff like that. But you're not gonna be able to feel, you know, gas to the face, or how long it echoes for, or the tone as it sounds to you, stuff like that. So always try to hear it in person. But again, there's not many choices out there for AK suppressors. This is definitely one you guys should take a hard look at. So hope you enjoyed the video. SHOT Show's coming up soon. I definitely need that break, get my mind off some things and get out there and just get the business and line up all my work for the 2024 year. Again, if you guys have anything out there during SHOT Show that you see pop up, hit me up on Instagram and I'll see if I can swing by their booth, get you guys a video. See you soon.